Even so, they could just easily use the money in a roster spot for veteran minimum player. That puts pressure on him to make his case. So that was the story that we read earlier this week. People reacted to it. So to my surprise, I was surprised when I saw this video today of him being asked about his father, and I got this news from Fadeaway World with the headline saying, Bronny James gets real on his dad leaving the Lakers. The summer of 2026 saw a wave of movement across the NBA as multiple stars changed teams, some teams changed owners, and what has been a transformative period for the Lakers, for Lakers guard Bronny James. However, it's just another typical summer. With the young guard currently with his team at Luka Doncic's basketball minicamp, he seems completely unfazed by recent events, particularly the departure of his dad, LeBron. When asked about it by a fan, James Jr. shrugged it off, reminding him that he can access the king anytime he wants.
Bronny James has finally spoken out after the Los Angeles Lakers unceremoniously kicked his father, LeBron James, right off the roster. While sports media experts expected total chaos and family meltdowns, Bronny's surprisingly calm reaction left everyone completely stunned. Has Bronny accepted his father's messy departure? Or is he secretly planning his own exit strategy from Southern California? Do you think Bronny James can actually survive in the NBA on his own merit without LeBron on the Lakers? Or will Los Angeles cut him the moment his contract expires? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Just want to reiterate, or go over again in case some people didn't see it. So it says, Bronny James is put on notice after LeBron's Lakers departure. Then continues on. It says, heading into his third season in the NBA, the spotlight remains on Bronny James of the Los Angeles Lakers, especially after his father, LeBron James, left in free agency. The younger James was a controversial selection, being picked by the Lakers 55th overall in the 2024 NBA draft. And while his father is no longer on the team, the pressure is mounting on the 21-year-old to prove himself as a rotation player in the league. James has spent time back and forth from the NBA G League and the NBA, and though his name has been floated in trade rumors, he appears to be staying in Los Angeles for next season. As two writers recently explained, he has a big task in front of him for the Lakers next season. Continues on. It says, writing for the Lake Show, I can't pronounce the guy's name, tabbed Bronny James as one of the players on the Lakers roster with the most to prove this upcoming year.
For the last 2 years, sports television networks have sold us a cozy Hollywood fairy tale. They told us the story of a legendary father and his gifted son walking hand in hand into NBA history, sharing locker rooms, riding team buses together, and living happily ever after under the bright lights of Staples Center. But then, reality came crashing down. The Lakers front office finally got tired of the drama, decided to move in a completely new direction, and effectively showed the all-time leading scorer the exit door during 2026 free agency. Naturally, the sports media machine immediately hyperventilated. Talking heads on television sprinted to their microphones, predicting total heartbreak, family outrage, and immediate trade requests from Bronny James. So what actually happened when a reporter finally caught up with Bronny at Luka Doncic's basketball minicamp and asked him directly about his dad being kicked off the team? Bronny casually shrugged his shoulders and basically said it was no big deal, because he can still call his dad on the phone whenever he wants.
Oh man!
That brief, completely unfazed 19-second response completely shattered the entire media narrative in a single afternoon. The media wanted weeping, they wanted anger, and they wanted explosive quotes about front office betrayal. Instead, they got a 21-year-old kid who looked like he was being asked about the afternoon weather forecast. Let us dissect why Bronny's calm reaction was both hilarious and deeply revealing. First of all, why are media analysts acting like Bronny needs to share a basketball facility with his father just to maintain a normal parent-child relationship? LeBron James is a multi-billionaire icon. Bronny is his son. They do not need to share a practice court or wear matching yellow jerseys to stay in touch. Bronny does not need to check the team flight schedule to figure out where his dad is having dinner. He can simply pull out his phone, send a text message, or fly home on a private jet whenever he feels like hanging out. The media acting like LeBron leaving LA created some kind of tragic family separation is top-tier comedy. Secondly, let us be completely honest about Bronny's actual situation with the Los Angeles Lakers moving forward. For the first time in his basketball life, Bronny James is operating without the massive, protective umbrella of his father standing directly next to him. And despite what the doom and gloom national headlines are claiming, that is actually the single best thing that could have ever happened to his career.
What are my thoughts about this here? Bronny James saying that it's his dad is whatever this isn't, look, of course, right? It's his father. So I don't think it would be difficult for any successful, I don't think it'll be difficult for a kid to reach their parent, regardless of who they are. I mean, come on, right? Especially if their parents love them. So I don't think that's something groundbreaking here. Just saying it's whatever, it's my dad. Like, obviously, like, no, we get that, right? Look, here are my thoughts about this. I don't think this is something that Bronny is particularly thinking about. Do you know why? Because it's none of his business. His business is with the Los Angeles Lakers. And if you paid attention to the earlier part, when I read that article, Bronny has his own business to focus on, which is ensuring that he remains on the Lakers and ensuring that he has a long, healthy NBA career. Because make no mistake, we knew that this was going to happen. Meaning, the day LeBron left the Lakers, a lot of people would say, okay, now let's see if you can float on your own steam. Can you make it on your own steam? Because a lot of people felt like the only reason he got that spot on the team was because of his father, and I believe so too, because it was engineered. Okay, if you look at all of the circumstances leading up to them picking him, it was 100% engineered. If you followed,
when the Lakers drafted Bronny with the 55th overall pick back in the 2024 NBA draft, everyone with a brain knew exactly what was going on. It was an engineered, orchestrated family moment designed to make history. Everyone in the basketball world understood that Bronny was given that foot in the door largely because of who his father was. Through his first 2 professional seasons, spending time back and forth between the main roster and the South Bay Lakers G League affiliate, Bronny put up modest numbers across 69 total games: 2.7 points, 0.6 rebounds, and 1.1 assists per game on 37% shooting from the field. Because his father was in the locker room, critics used those statistics as endless ammunition, claiming his entire roster spot was a wasted favor and a total publicity stunt. Now, with LeBron completely out of the picture in Los Angeles, the ultimate safety net has officially been removed. The training wheels are off, and the shadow has lifted. Recent sports reports from outlets like Yahoo Sports and The Lake Show have listed Bronny as one of the Lakers players with the absolute most to prove heading into this upcoming season. Analysts are already pointing out that LA could easily waive his cheap $2.5 million contract, free up a roster spot, and sign a veteran minimum player instead. The pressure on this young man to justify his NBA presence has reached an all-time high.
Can you make it on your own steam? Because a lot of people felt like the only reason he got that spot on the team was because of his father, and I believe so too, because it was engineered. Okay, if you look at all of the circumstances leading up to them picking him, it was 100% engineered. If you followed the stories, right? But now that your father's no longer there, you don't have that protection of dad on the team, and I think that that's a good thing for Bronny. I don't think it's a bad thing. And personally, I don't know him obviously, but I think it's something that he's embracing. I think it's something that he's embracing, and it's something because look, at the end of the day, you want to be able to prove yourself.
If Bronny possesses any sense of personal pride, which clearly he does, he should be embracing this moment with open arms. Every single young athlete raised by a world-famous, ultra-successful parent reaches a defining fork in the road where they must answer a fundamental question. Am I just an extension of my father's brand, or am I my own individual man? Bronny does not need to play in the NBA to pay his monthly rent bill or put food on the table. The kid is set for life 10 times over. He is not grinding through G League road trips because he is desperate for a paycheck. He is doing it because he genuinely loves the game of basketball and wants to prove to himself, his peers, and his doubters that he belongs on an NBA hardwood floor. No matter how you got through the front door of the league, what matters most is how you handle yourself once you are inside the room. Getting drafted off influence is one thing, but earning a second NBA contract on your own merits is something else entirely. If Bronny can put his head down this season, lock in on defense, improve his perimeter jumper, and earn a legitimate spot in the Lakers' nightly guard rotation without his dad standing on the sidelines, he wins the ultimate respect. He silences the loudest critics who claimed he would be out of the league the exact second LeBron left town. Think about the mental toughness required to navigate this exact scenario. Bronny had to overcome a terrifying, life-threatening cardiac arrest before his freshman year at USC, rebuild his physical strength, handle unfathomable global media scrutiny every single morning, and step into the professional ranks as the son of the most dissected athlete in human history. He did not choose to be born into that intense spotlight, but he has handled every ounce of media pressure with remarkable poise, quiet dignity, and zero public complaints. While sports analysts spend hours debating his rightful place on a basketball court, Bronny stays out of trouble, works on his game, attends summer mini camps alongside elite stars like Luka Doncic, and minds his own business. The media expected him to panic the moment the Lakers moved on from LeBron because the media loves drama, conflict, and soap operas. But Bronny's chill reaction showed a level of maturity that completely caught his critics off guard. He understands that business is business. Sports franchises make cold business moves, and his primary responsibility is to honor his own personal journey. Legacy is not just built by the records your father sets. Legacy is built by how you handle adversity when the spotlight turns directly on you. If Bronny James stays on the Lakers roster next season, proves he can contribute as a solid perimeter defender and smart ball handler, and secures a second contract somewhere in the league, he completely rewrites his own story. He proves that while his last name opened the door, his own sweat equity kept him inside the building. The national sports media can keep manufacturing fake family drama and writing articles questioning his place on the team all they want. But as long as Bronny stays focused on his own craft and works on his individual game, he will have the ultimate last laugh over every single person who prayed for his failure. To truly understand why the media is so obsessed with this story, we have to look at the broader pattern of how sports television operates when it comes to the James family. For over 2 decades, the media machine has fed on every single breath, tweet, and decision made by LeBron. When LeBron was in Miami, every single minor story was turned into a national crisis. When he returned to Cleveland, every subtle social media post was analyzed like ancient hieroglyphics. And when he moved to Los Angeles, the sports landscape treated the Lakers like a reality television show centered entirely around his personal desires. So when the Lakers front office made the cold, calculated, and necessary business decision to finally move on from LeBron in 2026, the media machine suffered an immediate identity crisis. They realized that their primary content engine was officially dismantled. They needed a new angle, a new hook, and a new debate topic to fuel their daily argument shows. Naturally, they turned their cameras directly toward Bronny, waiting for him to make a mistake, express frustration, or leak internal family discontent. They constructed a narrative that Bronny was now an abandoned, helpless rookie stranded in Los Angeles while his father moved on to another chapter. But Bronny completely ruined their content plan by being completely normal, grounded, and unbothered. By showing total composure, Bronny proved that he understands the realities of professional basketball far better than the talking heads on television do. He understands that players change team, front offices pivot toward rebuilding or reshaping their rosters, and personal relationships exist entirely outside the workplace.
Think about how exhausting it must be for a 21-year-old athlete to constantly have his entire existence framed through the lens of his father's achievements. Every shot he takes, every turnover he commits, and every minute he sits on the bench is instantly compared to a top 2 player in the history of the sport. That level of unrealistic expectation would break most young athletes mentally. Yet, Bronny has never thrown a public tantrum, never blamed his coaches, and never demanded special treatment on the floor. He accepts his current role, plays hard in the G League when assigned, and handles absurd media questions with simple, clever brevity. When a reporter asks him a leading question designed to generate a controversial headline about his dad being pushed out by LA management, Bronny does not take the bait. He gives a simple, shrug-of-the-shoulders answer that shuts down the drama before it even begins. That is high-level emotional intelligence from a young player who has been trained to navigate media traps since he was in middle school. Now, as the Lakers prepare for a fresh
season under new ownership dynamics and a reshaped roster, the focus finally shifts back to basketball performance. The front office is watching to see which young players step up, take accountability, and embrace the challenge of a new era. Bronny has a golden opportunity in front of him. With less media circus surrounding his daily interactions with his dad, he can focus entirely on development, skill building, and chemistry with his current teammates. He can spend extra hours in the gym without cameras recording his every move for a viral documentary. He can build a genuine identity as a hard-working, defensive-minded guard who earns his minutes through hustle, grit, and defensive execution. If he succeeds, he earns the respect of every player, coach, and executive across the entire league. If he falls short, he can walk away with his head held high, knowing he gave his absolute best effort under the most intense scrutiny any 55th pick in draft history has ever faced. The sports media will eventually find a new topic to rage about, a new trade rumor to invent, and a new hot take to scream into a microphone. But Bronny James has already proven that he possesses the quiet confidence needed to survive in the NBA ecosystem on his own terms. He does not need the media's permission to belong. He does not need his dad on the bench to feel secure, and he certainly does not care about the noisy opinions of internet trolls. The future of his career is entirely in his own hands, and that is exactly where a true competitor wants it to be. Bronny James handled the media drama like a true professional, but now he has to prove his worth on the floor. If you enjoyed this raw, sarcastic breakdown of the latest NBA news, smash that like button right now. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching.